What's up, Rest Friends? My name is Edie.
And my name is Teddy.
And you are listening to the Rest Friends podcast. Welcome. It is a beautiful Friday morning. Teddy and I are ready to go. We're ready to talk about wrestling. And boy, was there a lot of wrestling going on this week, Rest Friend. We did so much.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking about how I just did not add any pictures to the slideshow of the comedy show that we went to.
That is so true. To be honest with you, I didn't even take that many pictures either, especially since it was a little dark in there.
Yeah. And it was very packed. So
yes.
we can't hold that against them. Shout outs to Colt Cabana and RJ City for selling out that show. It was insane.
I thought you were gonna say they were Cabana was watching. I was like, wait a minute. When you say shout outs to Colt Cabana, I was like,
Not
wait.
yet. Even though I feel like Colt Cabana does love us.
Oh, for sure.
Just based on that little mini interaction we had before the show.
Yeah.
Where I knew Colt Cabana was going to come out of that door, and then he did. So that was the interaction.
we always have a little mini interaction with Cole at the Chicago events.
Yeah, he knows. He knows Wrestfriends.
Absolutely.
He might not know the name, but he knows the faces. So
yeah, I don't think he knows the names, but you're right.
It was a really, really fun show. I had a great time. You and I got tickets like immediately when they were on sale. I was like, Restaurant, we have to go. And you're like, okay, Restaurant, we go. And I'm like, okay, yay.
I love how you make that face like you know that. Like, oh,
fine.
Okay, absolutely not. Do I have to mentally prepare a couple days before? Yeah. Yes. But I don't have
we had a lot of time to mentally prepare, so
yeah,
that was great. The jokes were hilarious. RJ City, of course, is just a comedic genius, and their timing alone was hilarious. They had Nyla Rose participate in there. They had the Butcher, who was hilarious. I did not know he was as hilarious as that.
No, me neither. I know it took him a little while, I guess, to like warm up or come up with stuff. But once he got into it, it was really good. And he was a crowd favorite.
He was. He won the whole event. Or what was it? I don't know how to explain it. It was like a comedy game show.
Yeah, I guess to like eliminate, because I guess they were competing to see who was going to win in the end. So it was kind of like an elimination process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just had to be funny. Whoever was the funniest won at the end of the night.
It was hilarious. Daddy Magic was there.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal was there. There was a puppet.
There was a puppet.
It was just a really, really great time. But man, I liked it. I think they said that they were hopefully gonna come back next year and do the whole thing again. Harley Cameron was the one who ventriloquist. I had no idea she had that talent. Shout outs to her. Amazing.
I know, crazy.
What was it? Oh my God, I'm forgetting the puppet's name. But 10 out of 10, it was hilarious.
I know you really appreciate those kind of talents that are seemed as weird to other people. You appreciate those. So I know as soon as she came out with that puppet and you couldn't even tell that was her. That was great. That was great.
You know, that's why I think I love like Nigel McGuinness so much, because the fact that he popped out to be a magician, I said, whoa, now. Very impressive. So yeah, we went to that, and we also got to go to Dynamite and see Rampage. So that was really, really fun. We had good seats. I think the vibe was great. It was Isabel's first Dynamite show.
Yeah, well, first AEW show, period. My little sister, yeah. We took my little sister to her first AEW show. She loved it. I do have a picture to post where she reacted to Ospreay's Styles clash. That was like her first time I guess that was her first time that she saw a move that really wowed her. Yeah. It was really cool. I love taking the people that we love to a show for the first time, because seeing their reactions is really cool.
Yeah, because it's like we know what it feels like, but to see someone else also express that same like, oh my God, you know, that surprise, it's really cool. So I'm glad that she had a great time. And I hope to take more of our friends and family to wrestling shows. We still have to go to a show with my dad, because I know that was insane.
We have to get him floor seat tickets.
Oh my God, he would lose his mind. And I know we were talking about Ricochet, because that's boy.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
So could you imagine we're at an AEW show and Ricochet comes out? He would pass out.
He'd lose it. He would lose it. We got to make it happen for him once Ricochet comes back.
Oh my goodness. Let's get into talking about what happened in wrestling these past couple of weeks, days. Look at beautiful. Starting off with right
Beautiful.
there.
Gorgeous.
Best friend, do you have the Joe Hendry song downloaded yet or no?
Absolutely not restaurant.
You have to add it to your wrestling playlist. It is your wrestling duty.
If it came out while I was working out at the gym, restaurant,
Would you get scared or what? Like a jump scare?
not a jump scare, but I'd be like, what? No. Next.
Best friend.
I'm sorry. At
Say
this
that.
point, you can call me a hater, I guess. And I don't have, no,
Whoa.
I swear I have nothing against him. No más que todavía no me llama la atención the way everyone else is like,
Best
I'm
friend,
not.
he'll warm up to you.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Or you'll warm up to
I'll
him.
warm up to him. He'll warm up to me.
Tab Grapple and Pop says she clearly doesn't believe in Joe Hendry. That's the vibe I'm picking up on, honestly. And I'm not a fan, Rest Friend, so we need to get you on that Joe Hendry boat. But I know someone who you are a fan of is Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan is currently the NXT champion. He won it at Heatwave. He said it's the era of ego. And you're the one who put me on to Ethan Page, and he's just been doing amazing things since I guess just leaving AEW.
Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot where there's just so much talent in a lot of these companies. And of course, not everyone's going to be able to get used. And there's only a certain amount of TV time. And it just doesn't work out for everybody. But now I'm glad that he is really getting his moment in NXT. What do you think about him as champion right now? Like, that's crazy. He's only been there for like 6 weeks.
I know, it's so crazy. I mean, I didn't like in the beginning when I found out because I didn't watch it at 1st, and I didn't like finding out that it was kind of an accident. But at the same time, it's like Ethan is holding the title, so whether he won it by accident or not, it's like this is great. I'm extremely happy for him, best friend. That man, we have known that he's very good on the mic, so I don't think we're ever going to comprehend why he didn't do so much in AEW, why he wasn't on TV as much. Because seeing him now in NXT, he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. I'm so happy for him. He deserves. Look at that smile.
It's amazing. Do you think he'll have a long reign as champion? Because I know you said, yeah, the win was kind of like by accident, but I didn't hate that ending. I thought it was a good way to get that championship off of Trick and not make him look weak.
Yeah, you're right.
That match was incredible. And if you guys haven't watched that match on Heatwave yet, definitely go back and watch it. Because I think like I'm gonna have to get back into watching NXT, and I've been watching it for most parts of the show. Because I get home a little later. So once it starts, I definitely watch the second hour. But man, I'm just kind of invested in NXT now. You know, you're getting a lot of new talent, which we'll talk about later. But Ethan as champion, I think it's going to be great because he's a guy that you can send on PR, on press. He's great on the mic. Like, he's a veteran in wrestling. So I think he will be someone who the locker room can kind of look up to.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you said, since there is going to be more talent coming in, I promise I will start watching NXT more because I know there's a lot of talent under that I don't know because they don't come from a wrestling background. I know they have a lot of athletes, but I've seen so many clips where these people are very good in the ring. So I'm very impressed. But the way that even Ethan Page talks about NXT, I'm like, I probably need to go back to watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's that time.
Well, I guess we'll watch it together, Restaurant.
I guess we'll watch it together.
This journey together. Let's move on to what happened in Money in the Bank. So, did you watch this pay-per-view, Russ Friend?
I did not.
You watched the Money in the Bank. I only watched the Money in the Bank matches because.
Okay, both the men's and the women's.
Yes, no shade to everyone else who had a match on there, but I'm just not watching a lot of WWE like that. So I'll watch like the clips afterwards.
You're a busy girl.
Money in the Bank is something that I do look forward to because I think it's so exciting. And then, you know, the women haven't had that opportunity for such a long time that now I'm like, every time they do it, they just show up and show out. So I was really excited to see this. The women's match was a 10 out of 10. Tiffany Stratton was great. Io Sky was fantastic. Like, there was just so many things that were going on in this match that you're just like, how are these women doing it? Because just even watching it made me feel pain. So I was like, no.
Ow.
But yeah, so Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank, and then Drew McIntyre won the men's Money in the Bank, and he did cash in unsuccessfully. And that's just a hot mess. CM Punk continues to ruin my life. Um, CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre that cash in, and I know Rollins was pissed. So this is only to build that storyline further between Drew and Punk, and also between Rollins and Punk, because we know that's the match that we're going to get eventually. Don't know when it's going to happen because CM Punk has yet to wrestle. So those are my thoughts on that. But I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton won the Money in the Bank. I think she's great. She's a fantastic athlete. Wrestfriend, what do you think about these two winners?
Oh, great. I agree with you. No, I totally agree with you. I love the whole CM Punk and Drew McIntyre story. I'm not going to lie to you, just because of how brutal Drew McIntyre has been with CM Punk. But at the same time, you know what? We have our own feelings against CM Punk, and that's whatever. But at the same time, the dude is still out there, and it was a little bit surprising to me to see that he's injured, but he's still coming out in these shows and at least continuing with the storyline with Drew McIntyre. Do I want him to leave Drew alone? Yes, but
same. Just leave him alone. I don't know.
But once he stops bothering Drew, like you said, he's going to go to Rollins. But then again, that's going to be very exciting because Rollins doesn't take shit. Like, I'm excited to hear more of that Rollins feud against CM Punk. I mean, with CM Punk.
Snap Grapple Pop is saying, I liked both Money in the Bank matches, but the women's brought it fantastic. And absolutely they did. It was great. And let's talk about Chelsea Green, because she took the craziest bump in this match. She had her hands on that briefcase. Tiffany Stratton comes in, throws her off, and Chelsea lands on two tables on the outside of the ring. And literally, like mid-air, like people took pictures and she's like mid-air, like holding her head, like ready to take this bump. It's so insane. And the fact that she just like collapsed onto these tables, genuinely one of the craziest bumps that I've seen the women do in a Money in the Bank match. But this is not new to Chelsea, and people need to give Chelsea her flowers, because she's been doing this for such a long time. She had a match with Penta in Lucha Underground. Like, that is insane by itself. So give her flowers, because she is amazing. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that about Chelsea, because I guess they just weren't exposed to her like that. But she's been doing crazy stuff this whole time.
I love Chelsea because we're starting to see in WWE the things that she was doing in the independents.
Yeah.
She can do that crazy shit that all the men can do. But at the same time, she gives such diva energy, and I love it. I seriously love that when it comes to Chelsea Green. She has that like early 2000s diva energy, and I love it.
C. Henry says, wish Green would have won. Yeah, a lot of people do wish that. And speaking of people who people wanted to win, people were really behind main event Jey Uso, Yeet in the Bank, right? So they thought they were going to get something.
That's my first time hearing that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, so people really wanted Jey to win that. But also I feel like if Jey would have won that, let's say he cashed in successfully, right, against either champion, when Roman came back, Roman was going to go straight for him, and Roman's got a lot to do with Solo right now. So I feel like in the storyline, right, in the bigger picture, it makes sense to me that he didn't win. But also LA Knight was in that match, and I feel like, come on guys, like, what are we doing?
Now I have a question for my restaurant, because there's something that I'm confused about, since I haven't been watching WWE like that. Who are they calling their tribal chief now? Because it's not Roman.
It's Solo.
Why?
Because he took that upon himself, Wrestfriend.
Oh, I was so confused. Every time I was seeing images on Twitter and people calling him tribal chief, I'm like,
yeah, he brought that upon himself. That's like a nickname he gave himself. And now he is the leader, because he says that Roman apparently told him it was okay.
Definitely a story when Roman gets back, I'm sure. Right. Okay.
Be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Snap Grapple Pop is saying Priest feels cursed at this point. Poor guy. Honestly, I'm hoping things get better now that Rhea Ripley's back. And
Ooh, I don't think they're gonna get better.
really, you think this
Not
is
with the
it?
Judgment Day. Not with the Judgment Day.
Do you think this is it for the Judgment Day, best friend?
At least when it comes to Rhea and Dom, for sure.
I honestly think that could still be mended. I
You
think
think so?
I think that could still be mended. I feel like the next possible thing is Rhea versus Liv in a custody match for Dominic. You can put him above you can put him in a cage above the ring. You can put him on a pole.
What? Okay.
Yeah, you can put him on top of
On
a
a pole.
on a pole in the corner. I don't know, on the side of the ring, and then it's like what is it? In the like war games matches where you put somebody in a cage and then every 10 seconds somebody comes out. Well, this
Yeah.
is like a reverse that where
Okay.
whoever wins the match gets the key to go get Dominic out from. That's just
I'm
gonna
gonna I'm gonna be the party pooper and tell Rhea, girl, please do not fight for a man.
uh
He
it's
was
just like
cheating on you this whole time.
Tom was just put in such a sticky situation and Liv like
I love the way you're defending him.
Like,
Love it.
he was just put in such a crazy place, and nobody was helping him. All the guys were instigating. Carlito,
They were instigating.
like such instigators. They were such boys, right? They're like, "Oh my god, what did she send you?" And like, "Oh, what's happening?" And oh my god, don't buy it. But then ahí estaban jugando PlayStation in the back, like,
Except Finn Balor. But Finn Balor is married to a Mexicana, so it makes sense why Finn Balor would be like, I wouldn't fuck with that. I wouldn't mess with that.
yeah,
He
Finn
he
Balor
was
knows better.
he was trying to intervene at first, for sure.
And it feels like Finn is also trying to destroy the Judgment Day a little bit.
Yes.
There's a conspiracy theory that him and Liv are working together to destroy the Judgment Day from within. So I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I love wrestling cheese, man. That's just like, oh my god, there's so many
me
possibilities
too. That's
can or isn't going to happen.
mhm.
But let's get some of these comments up here. Will Morris is saying it would be nice to see the GM address Punk's constant harassment of Drew. Okay, Drew McIntyre got on Twitter and called Adam Pearce a bald bitch. A what was it? Oh my god, it was a something bald bitch. Let me pull this up because I was like, there's no way that Drew McIntyre got on Twitter, which I love him on social media. Let's see. Because yes, that is something that needs to be addressed. Why does CM Punk get to keep doing everything, but then Drew McIntyre gets suspended?
That is so true.
Oh, he says, if you were doing your job promptly, you wouldn't have been caught in the crossfire, you incompetent bald bitch.
Incompetent. I love that.
Incompetent
I
bald.
love using that word.
I'm gonna add that to my vocabulary now because that's just insane.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre, I think, also signed with a with what is it, Paradigm, which is like a I don't know, like a TV place, a movie
Uh-huh.
company. So he
Mhm.
might start making movies. Shout outs to Drew. So
Okay.
do that while he's suspended. Shout outs to Troy. We were just talking about you this morning. He says, good morning.
Good morning, Troy.
Jordan Kirby say Mariah May will destroy Tony at All In. We will get to Mariah. We do have Mariah on this. We will talk about her. Man, she just did so great. C. Henry says, yes, Judgment Day could be breaking up soon. Everybody in the group is a breakout star now. That is a great argument that it's like, hey, we really don't need this group anymore
Yeah.
because if there's not another big faction to destroy and all these people are kind of already made. So interesting. Wilmore saying Mr. Pierce is in fact bald and possibly those other things.
And possibly those other things too. Incompetent.
I
I
don't know.
seriously love that word so much.
Drew might have been reading him, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But who knows? Something that broke my heart that happened at this pay-per-view was John Cena coming out. And I was so excited to see John Cena because I'm like, oh my God, here we go. There was a rumor that a fan saw him. Where were they? In England?
No,
Canada? Wherever they were, somebody saw John Cena. They had to be in Canada because that's where Trish was.
was it Canada? Oh.
Somebody put in the comments, please confirm or deny. But first of all, Trish comes out and I'm already like, Trish is everything, right? She's my number one. That's my girl. And then John Cena comes out. And I was so excited to see John Cena. I didn't even notice that he was holding on to a little towel like he usually does. But this one, it said, the last time is now. And I didn't even see that Rest Friend, did not
Oh.
process that. So he gets in the ring, he starts talking, and I'm thinking he's gonna announce a WrestleMania because that's kind of what he did at some other big show. He's like, "Oh well, you guys did so good. Maybe you guys deserve a WrestleMania or something." Let's say a Pennsylvania. He said, "You guys deserve a WrestleMania." So I thought that's what he was gonna be like. Oh, okay, announcing a new WrestleMania in like a couple of years, whatever.
Mhm.
And then he's like, "I'm retiring," and I'm like, "You're playing with me." Like that's I thought it was gonna be like an Adam Cole moment where Adam Cole came back and he's like, "I got bad news, guys, but bad news for the guys in the back," because something like that. And then it didn't get better, best friend.
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no way he's really retiring." He said the Elimination Chamber was gonna be his last. The Royal Rumble was gonna be his last, which the Royal Rumble's in Indiana, best friend. I don't know what you're doing in February. We might have to go to the Royal
I think
Rumble.
we're gonna have to go to the Royal
I think
Rumble.
we might have to go to the Rumble. So I just he said that he was going to answer questions at the press scrum. I couldn't even think at that point. I was like, there's just no way. There's no way that John Cena's retiring. Mind you, people, this was like a big, big thing. Like we were talking about it at work, at the news station, and people were like, "Oh, well, John Cena retired," and I'm like, "No, no, no, he's not retired yet. He's going on tour to retire. So get it right." Get your facts straight, guys. And then people are like, I didn't even know he was still wrestling. And I'm like, he's not, but he's coming back to finish. Like, there was so much explaining that I had to do. So I'm like, guys, it would just be so much less work for you guys to watch wrestling.
No, yes, it's so very true. I actually also got some people that were like, "Oh my God, how do you feel? John Cena is retiring," and I'm like, "Oh."
Mhm.
And
It
what
happened.
do I tell these people that don't even watch wrestling, right?
Yeah.
But thank you for thinking about me.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Yes, you should watch it. It's fantastic. But see, look at that little toallita. The last time is now. I was like devastated. Um,
That is, yeah, that's crazy, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out to all of his world tour dates. I bought my Mania tee. I'm ready to go. Mentally, I'm already in Vegas. We need to go to these WWE shows, Russ friend. This is very important to me. So,
No, I know that. I'm listening. I'm listening, Miss Friend.
so whenever they're in town, we need to go. I feel like the impact. If you guys don't know, Russ friends, I love John Cena. He's the
Yeah.
reason that I watch wrestling today. He is literally everything to me. The impact that John Cena had on my life is just insane. And I feel like sometimes people are like, "You're crazy," or like, "That's so wild. Like, you don't even know this man," or whatever. It does not matter. Okay. When I told John Cena
Period.
I loved him to his face and he shook my hand, you can take that away from me. And I remember
No.
right afterwards, I went right to Best Friend and I said, "Best Friend, high five me," because John Cena touched his hand. And that was when you were at the Hangman.
Yes.
We were so excited. I said, "Best Friend, John Cena touched his hand. Take some." Like,
Yeah, that's so true. You literally met John Cena when I was with Hangman too. That's so crazy. Yeah. Oh
in,
no, best friend.
in
I get it though. People outside of the wrestling community don't understand our love for these people. But
Mhm,
like you said, no one can take away from you the fact that you were able to tell John Cena what he means to you. A
mhm.
lot of people don't get that. So
Yeah. And I
period.
think also important to say is like if you have the chance to meet one of your favorites, do it. Because in that moment, you might be like, "Oh, okay, well, if especially if you have the money, absolutely do it because it is worth it." You don't know when these guys are gonna tour again, when they're going to be doing meet and greets, or like how long ago was it when I met Cena? What, like 2 years ago, maybe?
I
I
think
want
it was 2 years ago.
two,
Yeah.
3 years ago, and now he's retiring. So, like, when would have I gotten the moment if I didn't do it then? So, if you guys have the money to go and meet your faves and to go get that picture, to go get an autograph, absolutely do it because John Cena was looking into my soul. Like, literally, he listened to everybody. People were taking like essays that they wrote about him in school, which I did too. I didn't write an essay, I did a presentation. But like, people were like, had printouts of things for him, and he was like, "Would you like me to read this? Would you like he was like so attentive. And I love that about some wrestlers that they're super attentive and they let
Yeah.
you kind of tell tell your story and then they'll be like, "Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much." And I was like, "Oh, I love John Cena." Anyway, Snap Grapple Pop is saying I don't think they've said when he actually retires, just sometime in 2025. But think WWE is gonna go big after Sting's retirement showed how it's done. I would think that John Cena is probably going to have one of the biggest, retirement tours because he is a WWE guy. He's been loyal to the company for so long. His Hall of Fame induction ceremony is going to be insane, and I would love for Randy Orton to do it.
Okay.
Or Edge. I was hoping that his last match would include Edge somewhere in there, but of course Edge is with AEW, and we've
Yeah.
talked about this before. But I think Randy would also be a good feud for him to have. People want him to face CM Punk. Do you have anyone that you'd like to see kind of Cena face in the WWE?
I don't think so. Not right now. My best memories with John Cena were with the X. So,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh, that's
So it would be nice to see Triple H and Shawn Michaels kind of be a part of the
yeah.
induction a little bit. Just, I mean, that's just for me though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Oh man. Colin Henry or C. Henry saying, WWE took a page out of AEW's book with Cena's retirement tour. They could have. They could have. Snap, grapple, pop. That Cena shirt is funny. There's a big ugly door on the back. I am dead. Is there really?
What do you mean?
See,
Really?
like, maybe because like he's out the door.
He
Someone said,
that
or they'll have Baron Corbin just beat him. Best friend.
you that was a very unnecessary comment. Snap, grapple, pop. I haven't seen Baron Corbin in so long. I'm like, is he even my favorite anymore?
That is so crazy. I see Baron Corbin like every other week on TikTok
On
because
TikTok, I mean on
yeah, he's
Instagram, I
making
see
his
him.
food. Yeah.
Yes,
That
yes,
is
exactly.
so funny. All right, let's move on and talk about Forbidden Door. Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vaquer was a title for title. This match was insane. Um,
Yeah.
I was really excited to see this one. We were hoping that Stephanie took the win, but she honestly made the most of her time that she had in that ring with Mercedes, and she was so vicious, and that's something that I was kind of waiting to see from Mercedes, but I don't think that we kind of got it from her, which I was a little disappointed because I'm like, if you're going to win both titles, you need to be the one who's the most vicious in this match. But I do get it that people can say like, okay, well, she was the smartest in the match, or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm not mad that she has both titles because she's Mercedes, like Sasha Banks at the end of the day, right? But I was thinking that Stephanie won that battle. She definitely won the battle.
Me too. I definitely was a bigger fan of Stephanie's work in that match. I enjoyed both sides
Mhm,
100%. But I was rooting for Stephanie.
mhm.
But what would have happened had she won?
Exactly. There would be
So
no
good
story.
thing Mercedes won.
Yeah. Rumor was that both companies, AEW and WWE, were showing interest in Stephanie contract wise. And that WWE really only saw Stephanie after Forbidden Door. Like that's when they were considering her. Rumors, we don't know. They could have had their eyes on her way before that. The internet will tell you what the internet wants to tell you. It doesn't matter because Shawn Michaels said, y'all ain't catching me slipping. All right. He took to Twitter and he was like, welcome to the WWE family, Stephanie Vaquer. See you in Orlando. And I am ready for this NXT run that she's about to have. I think she's the one that can beat Roxanne and be the NXT women's champion. And then you have her and Ethan Page as the face of your brand. Literally, it's giving Wednesday Night Wars. It's giving when AEW was on, when NXT was on at the same time, and you were like, oh my God, they're both giving great matches. I have to pick one. But we don't have to
Yeah.
pick one anymore. We could watch it all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this. What do you think about her in NXT?
Oh, I love knowing that she's gonna go to NXT. Like her, and then the fact that Julia looks like is healed now.
Yeah.
Having both her and Julia in NXT, please. Why wouldn't we love that?
Exactly. Why wouldn't I feel like there's so many possibilities that we can get
Yes.
match wise too. Like if she ever gets called up, like I see her possibly in the Rumble. Same thing I see Ethan in the Rumble. Joe Hendry, who's making a lot of appearances in NXT lately. I do see him in the Rumble. But the matches that she can have in NXT right now, like Sol Ruka, I think is a great talent. She is really building herself up there. Natty, I feel like Natty and Stephanie would have a showdown of a match because Natty's such a vet. She knows everything. And Stephanie is kind of like that old school style. So I think that they would be really, really well. Also, Shayna Baszler. The viciousness,
Okay.
it matches up for me. It really matches.
Okay.
But I would really like to see her in Charlotte. I think Charlotte,
Oh,
I miss Charlotte Restaurant.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been too long.
Yeah.
I would love to see her against Bailey.
Ooh, Bailey's,
I
yeah.
want to see Bailey face every woman in wrestling, like every single one of them.
All of them.
um, but it would be very very nice to see Stephanie against Bailey for me.
Yeah. Let's see. Will Morris is saying apparently Vaquer had a tryout in 2018. She has definitely arrived and is going to be huge.
She,
Interesting. A lot of people have WWE tryouts, and I don't know, like sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes they don't have the story for you there. They don't really see, like, you could be a great wrestler, but if they don't see a place to put you, then I guess like it's unfortunate. But she's there now, and I know she's ready. So
WWE to me, like in my head, they're that person that you just have to watch out for,
mhm,
because if you have your eyes on someone in wrestling, you better hope WWE isn't watching them because they're gonna get them.
yeah. And
Sneaky little assholes.
you never know. AEW could have offered her something, and
I'm
she
sure
might
they
have
did, but
she might have been like, I want to go to WWE, because that's also a big thing too, is that people get mad when people go to WWE, but that's really the only place that people have known for their whole life. Like their dream was to be in WWE.
yeah. I mean, I'm not a wrestler,
Hmm.
and we really don't know what goes on back there. We really don't know the full story of anything. But
Hmm.
I do have way more hopes for WWE now than I did back then when
Oh
McMahon
yeah.
was in charge. Back then, had McMahon still been in charge, I would have been really mad about this. Was I upset about it? Yes, because Stephanie was doing so fucking well out here, becoming a star.
Mhm.
And I was like, she can do great fucking things outside of WWE. But she's in WWE now. All we gotta do is support her
Yeah.
and
I'm hoping
really, really hope.
for style and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have high hopes for though. I believe in Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That's what I'm gonna say.
I believe in DX. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And D Generation X, we trust.
Period. Snap Grapple Pop is saying, did Julia get injured doing her last dates? Maybe that's why WWE seems to stop Stephanie fulfilling her dates. I think Julia, they said that she's confirmed that she's healed, because I think
Mm-hmm.
she had a match that's coming up. So she might just be like fully healed now. So now if they bring in, I guess it's just going to be about how they reveal Stephanie, right? Because I was kind of like hoping that she would just kind of show up and it would be a surprise, like, oh my God, Stephanie
Mm-hmm.
Vaquer is in NXT. Now we know she's in NXT, right? So that kind of like fizzled down some of the excitement. But now people are on the lookout of like, okay, when is she going to appear? And it's
Yeah.
going to be the same thing with Julia too, because we know Julia's in WWE, but
Yeah.
she's going to be in NXT. We just don't know when she's going to show up. So
Right.
now we'll have two women to be excited to be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
Um, moving on to Miss Britt Baker. So right after that Mercedes match with Stephanie Vaquer, Mercedes was celebrating. 3 seconds in, you hear like the doctor will see you now, and the crowd lost it. Restaurant, I was at home. I said, "This is what I've been waiting for. I've been
Mm-hmm.
waiting for Miss Britt Baker. Let's go." Britt comes out looking amazing, fantastic. Like she was serving. Literally, that green looks so good on her. I said, "Period. This is it." Waiting for.
She, man, you definitely can tell she puts thought into anything she wears whenever she's gonna come out. She
Mhm.
always looks great.
Yeah. Troy saying Julia is wrestling tomorrow at Marigold Summer Destiny versus um
Oh,
oh, okay. I did great. Wonderful match. Is it Suri?
Suri.
Suri? I hope so. Joshi Journals, guys, go follow them on YouTube. Fantastic. Troy gives me all the Joshi tea, because literally that's where I get educated.
Not my, not Siri turning on. I wasn't talking to you, Siri.
Not that one.
Not that one. I was
Not
like,
that
wait,
one.
what's going on?
Inside. I lost my mind. I've been waiting for this Britt Baker return, and I thought their promo that we got to see live in person was insane. She was talking, Britt was talking about how she had a mini stroke, which was literally like so scary, because you're like, that
Mm-hmm.
literally your health can default at any time and you could be done like immediately. But that promo was so crazy. The fact that the Bucks are like, "Oh, Mercedes, come on in. The celebration's ready to go." Britt is still in the ring, just having poured her heart out. People are bringing in balloons. They're putting up posters, and Mercedes comes out and she's like, "You just got here. You better get to the back of the line, bitch." Insane. And then Britt's like, "I don't see any line here. I don't know what line you're talking about. I was ready for it.
She was
Ready
looking for the
for
line
it.
too.
Ready for it."
Brutal.
I was looking for the line, best friend. I said, "I don't
Brutal.
see anybody." Best friend, you were
No,
there. Did you see a line?
no, I didn't see
You
a line.
were there
That's
next
why
to
that
us.
shit was brutal.
We were. Oh my god, literally. Oh my god, insane, insane.
Oh my god.
Uh, Troy saying Russ Friends gives me AWT, and I give them Joshi back. Yes,
We got each other.
yes. Crazy craziness. What are you ready for this feud? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
I am. I am actually very ready, best friend. I also love Britt Baker. I'm also very excited to see her back. When you were talking, speaking of her stroke, by the way, isn't it crazy how someone that seems so healthy and untouchable goes through something like that? Like it really just you just really start thinking like anything can happen to any of us. If it can happen to Britt Baker, where she was close to a stroke,
Mhm.
like it can happen to any of us. That's so scary. I'm so glad she's back. I'm so glad she's okay. I love to see her going back for a title run and against Mercedes. Mercedes needed a big star in
Yeah.
AEW so that we can, so there can be more eyes on her because unfortunately, not everyone has been into this Mercedes AEW run.
Mhm.
And I do want it to get better for her.
Mhm.
She is starting to get better on the mic. And I just hope that from here on, like it just gets better for the women. And I'm really rooting for this feud.
Yeah, I
I feel
agree.
like Britt and Mercedes are the perfect ones to be feuding right now. They know we clearly in person saw and heard that they know how to talk their shit.
Yup.
That was
And
really
they're
fun.
they're both such good mean girls. Like, I
Yes.
believe it. I believe that they're
Me
both
too.
I believe that they wouldn't give me a second look on the street. Like,
Exactly. I feel like if I go backstage, they both be like, and they're doing their job.
yeah. C. Henry is saying, should Monet versus Baker main event All In? I think it would be
I
great.
don't know about main event.
I don't know about main eventing. I don't think they do that. I think they're definitely gonna give the main event to Danielson or to Swerve. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where they would be leaning towards. Victor is saying good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Victor.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday that we are streaming. Let's talk about our next thing, the Owen Hart Cup, Owen Hart Tournament.
My
And
favorite thing going on right now, by the
I
way.
know, Restaurant, do you want to talk about it? Brian Danielson had a match against Hangman, which there was a lot going on in this match. I was
Mm.
like, okay, now, especially when Jeff Jarrett got involved, I was very confused. And then he took his shirt off. He had a ref shirt under. Restaurant, what was going on?
Well, which one? When he came out in that like cowboy-ish gear, I was like, is he saying he's on Hangman's side? Like, what's going on here? Um, First of all, please, the fact that I knew Hangman was coming into this angry, I knew there was going to be blood, and I was hoping for the blood.
Mhm.
We know how Danielson also is. I saw Danielson front row at All Out last year,
Yeah.
and you can see how he actually
Mhm.
like he those hits actually fall on the wrestlers. I don't know if that made any sense, but he like we got to see him against Ricky Starks, and he was like whipping him. He
Ah,
was actually whipping him. So I was very excited for this match before it even happened because I'm like, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal. We've seen their matches before. They had three matches before. Hangman and Danielson, great matches. Some of the greatest matches in wrestling history, in my opinion.
yeah.
Um, I was rooting for Hangman. I thought it would have been too good to be true for Hangman to win. I was like, the way they're going with his storyline, he probably is going to lose and they're just going to anger him even more. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. I'm very happy for Daniel Sendo because here's someone else that is saying that this is their last run. And what's going to happen if he wins the title, right? We don't know. But at the same time, whatever Danielson decides to do, I'm happy. I'm glad that we're getting to see this Danielson run in AEW because that man pours his heart out in the ring.
It's crazy because John Cena with his retirement and now Brian Danielson with his retirement. all of our faves are gonna start to like retire in like the next couple years, and it's just like, are we gonna be ready for that Edge official retirement tour, for the Randy Orton retirement tour? Like
All the people we grew up with.
all the people we grew up with, like this is gonna be insane. Like I know, like maybe maybe in like the next 10 years, like the Miz is gonna retire. I feel like the Miz could still keep going.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
the
He
Miz is
can be. He can definitely be like R-Truth. Is that his name?
yeah, R-Truth, yeah.
Okay, R-Truth. I'm like, am I saying that? For some reason, that doesn't sound right in my head. He could be like R-Truth and just be there for a very long time, entertaining us.
You know how Christian, when Christian retires, oh my God, that's just there's gonna be so much.
There's gonna be a lot of tears for us millennials
I
in the
saw
next couple of years.
there was a girl on TikTok who put like a slideshow together of like, oh my boyfriend, me and my husband at my wedding, and like he didn't cry, and then when our first child was born, he didn't cry, and then they showed when John Cena announced he was retiring, the man was in tears. Then
I sincerely hope that was just for TikTok. Because that's horrible.
I was like, that is crazy. But when all of these men were crying when the Undertaker was retiring, that's gonna be like our generation too, is like gonna be crying for John Cena, which is crazy because some of y'all were haters from day one. So you don't deserve like best friend.
You never saw me.
You and Mario literally break my heart every time you talk about that.
I'm so sorry.
Like John Cena.
I'm
I've
so
never
sorry.
ever booed John Cena a day in my life, best friend.
I don't really think I boo for people much. I just don't react. And that's what I did with John Cena. I wasn't reacting, but I don't have any.
That might be worse, best friend. That's like what we do with Chris Jericho. We just don't react.
But it's not in the Chris Jericho way. I promise you, Wrestfriends. I just don't want to be mean to him, but I also didn't want to cheer for him. I promise you, I have nothing against him. I swear to you.
Fine. You can make it up in the retirement tour.
Yes, you know what? Now I'm gonna go with you to Indiana. Punish me and take me with you to Indiana.
The Royal Rumble. That's your punishment. Man, let's talk about Mariah May, because she won. She beat Willow, which we were kind of hoping that Willow got to be the Owen Hart Cup tournament winner for a second time, but that didn't happen. Ultimately, Stokely and Statlander didn't get involved in this match, and then Mariah took the win. They shook hands afterwards, which I appreciated. I'm like, perfect, respect, love to see it. And then I think nobody expected this. We knew that one of them was going to turn on the other. We didn't know when, but I kind of did not think that it was going to be Mariah at this moment right now. The fact that she literally slammed Toni, and she was hitting her for realsies, Wrestfriends. Yep. Like for realsies, these hits looked like they hurt. I was in shock, but I was also ready. I have been waiting. I said, this is the Mariah that I've needed. We know that she's such a good wrestler, and we know that, not that Toni has been holding her back, but we know that Mariah can go. Exactly. So now I'm ready for this. Like Toni was bleeding. She grabbed the shoe. She was like, pop, pop, best friend.
Best friend. That was one of the most beautiful things they have shown on AEW in a while. Mm-hmm. Like I said, both of these matches I was very excited for. And then afterward, the outcome, it's not what I was expecting, but man, it was great. And when it came to Mariah and Toni, I knew Mariah was going to turn on Toni. I knew it was going to be Mariah, because Toni turning on Mariah would have been too obvious. But I didn't think she was going to be that brutal. I didn't think that we were going to see all that blood and all that beautiful. To me, it was just beautiful the way Toni was taking the hits, the way Toni was crying after getting literally beat up in the head. Beautiful. I loved it. I wish they could win an award, all the awards for this, because that was amazing.
And you know what's crazy? Toni and her were probably backstage, and Toni was like, all right, you got to hit me, but like, you're hitting me really hard, okay? Like, I know Toni was ready for somebody to yes. It genuinely insane.
I loved Toni before this. I love her even more now, because that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Beautifully executed it. Hassan is saying Toni did not watch for the shoe. She really didn't. She really didn't. Will is saying, what a plot twist. A buddy comedy turned into a slasher flick. That's how it happens. Sometimes your friends turn on you, and you thought you were in a good place, and then bam, blood.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for these bitches, man.
You really do.
Not you, Mariah. Not you, Mariah.
The bald bitches. The incompetent, bald
The
bitches.
incompetent bald bitches.
That's what you have to watch
That's
out
the
for.
word for the thing.
And a quick shout out to Willow because she did this tribute in her gear to Owen. And honestly, it looks amazing. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. People noticed it immediately. I
I
didn't.
love Willow.
So just these little things that she does, much respect to her. Shout outs to her.
Absolutely.
And we're going to end with Marco Stunt. Okay. I'm wearing my Marco Stunt shirts. If you guys can see, literally since day one, I've been a Marco fan. So when
yes, you have
out on Collision to challenge Jack Perry, because I think he had an open challenge for his TNT title. And you heard like the Jurassic Express music. He was confused. I was confused. Literally did not expect Marco to be the one that came out because I think Marco was let go about a year or two ago. And then we hadn't really seen him. He did like one or two things on the indies. I'm not sure if he was injured, but he was not active on social media.
yeah.
And we just didn't really see him. We didn't know how he was, if he was okay, if he was in a good headspace, if he was still wrestling, like what he was going to do. So he looked amazing. He looked so healthy when he came out. His curls were going back to his original hair color because when he was doing the indies, he had it like blonde, which I was not a fan of. I'm
You were not.
much more of a fan. He looked fantastic how he was at Collision. And though he did not win, this gave me so much hope because if they're having him back on like full time or having him do anything in general, like he has so much history with Jack Perry and he has so much history with Luchasaurus or Kill Switch, whatever he's going by now. And they kind of did a backstage segment with Kill Switch where he kind of like walked by and he kind of like made a sound. And Marco was like, okay, so he knows who I am or something like that. So Marco could be the one to get Kill Switch out of the what
The
is it?
dark, out of the darkness.
Patriarchy. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. The face bump that Marco took. Insane. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just talking about the good parts here. But thank you for bringing that up.
We don't gotta talk about what they do to poor little Marco in the
Marco,
ring.
okay? Marco can hold his own. They just didn't want him to do that in this match. Snap, grapple, pop. Everyone doing Owen Hart here except Hangman because he's just there to fight. I didn't even notice that, Rest Friend.
Because he's that bitch.
Oh, okay. And that's where we'll end the show.
Wait, no, I love that. He would love that too.
He is that bitch. So, guys, make sure that you follow us on all social media. Thank you so much for interacting with us today. We will be back next week with more wrestling content. Let us know if we didn't talk about something on this episode and you guys want us to talk about it. Leave it in the comments down below. Hit us up on our instant messages. Damn, that instant messages.
Instant messages, restaurant? Wait a minute.
I flew back 15 years, restaurant.
No, literally, you just took me back.
I don't even think I had instant messages.
Hit us in our instant messages. Send us your ASL.
The AOL.
If we have an away message, I promise you we'll be back.
Put us in your cinco favoritos.
All the little kids, all the young ones are like, what? What are they talking
like,
about?
I think honestly, I don't think little kids watch us, restaurant.
Not little kid. I'm sorry. I was referring to Gen Z. They're children to me. Because a lot of them are mean. So shut up, child.
They're gonna be like, these people are old.
These old people.
These old bald bitches.
These incompetent bald bitches.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, make sure you follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not yet subscribed. We hit 2,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. We're on our way to 3,000 and above and beyond, infinity and beyond, as Buzz said in Toy Story. So I'm gonna leave it there.
And I hope some of you come to All Out.
Oh yes, we have stickers. If you guys ever see us at a show,
we have stickers. No, it's true.
We genuinely have stickers. We gave out stickers this Wednesday when we went to Dynamite. So
yeah,
we always have them. Say hi. We'll take a picture with you. Tag us in anything. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for participating and joining us on stream today. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, guys. We love you. Stay safe. Stay beautiful. Bye.
Oh, bye.